According to Deloitte, around 77% of people say they feel burnt out at their current job. Around 93 say that it really affects their work in a negative way, and around 83 say that it really affects their relationships. Now, I'm not sure if you could identify with these numbers or if you might be experiencing burnout now or have in the past, but let's look at what might be a key driver of this global phenomenon. Let's dive in. Hi, and welcome to Monday Morning Meditation, where we look to have wisdom and insight at the beginning of the working week. And we are looking at the issue of burnout, which is a huge topic. But I do want to touch on a core issue that I think is central to burnout and how we can have freedom from it. So, if you look with me in the scriptures at Psalms 90, verse 12, there's a really powerful request here being made by the psalmist, and at the core of it, I think it can really shed some light on how we deal with burnout. And it says this: teach us to number our days, that we may gain a heart of wisdom. Now, how does this relate to burnout? Here, the psalmist is asking God for the ability to live within the reality of his confinements, of his limitations, that men only have a certain number of days, and he wants God to give him the ability to live within the reality of his limitations. Many times when we experience burnout, it's because we have forgotten our limitations. We think we are limitless, that we don't have limited time, limited energy, limited strength, limited capacity. We believe that we are limitless, and we work that way, we talk that way, we think that way, we plan our schedules in that way, and then we end up at a place of being completely burned out. Here, the psalmist is saying, teach me, which means that we need to ask God for the grace, the ability, the capacity to remember that we are creatures and we have limitations, and to ignore this world that says you can do it all, be it all, and have it all. It is a lie, and it will burn you out. We all have limitations of time and energy and strength. And one of the issues around this is that if we believe this false image of ourselves that we are limitless, then we begin to feel guilty when we can't live up to the always going, always safe, always on. We look around at others and we think and we perceive that they're doing it, and we feel guilty that we're not doing it, and we begin to feel that we're not as good as others. So we work even harder, especially if the culture in the office is one where it's normal to work 12-hour days, and if you don't, you are seen to be unnatural or not productive. But hear me when I say you are a creature of limitations, and you need to ask God for the grace to remember you have limitations. Work within those limitations, and fight off the guilt that says that you don't have to live within those limitations by taking times of rest and relaxation and planning schedules realistically and not cramming every single moment with an activity to be done. The other thing linked to this is that performance, right? So many times we work for worth. Work for worth. We want to feel worthy in front of others. We want others to see our worth and appreciate our worth, and therefore we take on extra things and work extra hard and work extra long so that we appear to be worthy of respect or worthy of admiration and worthy of love. And our desire in our hearts is driving us to work more than we ought. And I want to just suggest to you today that in Christ you are already worthy. God has already given you worth in Christ. You already have been given the most worthy thing in the universe, which is to have a personal relationship with God in Christ. Therefore, you don't have to work for that at all. Embrace who you are in Christ and release the tension of the pressure to work for worth. Another thing that that drives us in our business, in our burnout, is that we believe that if we don't do it, the whole world will fall apart. If we don't do it on this day, everything will fall apart. Now, I'm not saying don't respect deadlines. I'm not saying to be slack in your work, but I'm saying to appreciate that you do not hold the world together. And if you had to die today, trust me, the work will go on, the company will go on, the project will get funded. You are not indispensable to the running of the universe. Only God is. Therefore, take that pressure off yourself, come off the throne, and know that yes, work hard, do your best, but don't think that if you don't give 100% all the time, every day, without any rest or any break or any relaxation, that is doing you good, and the world would needs you to operate at that level. It does not. Trust me, it has a God who holds it in his hand without effort. So these are some of the hard things we need to deal with that really drive our burnout. And the last part of the psalm says to give me a heart of wisdom. Wisdom is always in the realm of practical things. So if we deal with the heart issues and embrace those truths, it will lead us to do some very wise practical things. Like example, Daniel, when he had a real deadline that was just crazy, when he heard that he had to give the interpretation of the dream, or otherwise the king will kill all the wise men, he asked for an extra day to just reflect on it and to pray. Sometimes we need to ask for extra time to get work done. Don't be embarrassed if we need more time. Remember, you have limitations. Daniel also asked for help. He didn't take on the whole project. He asked for his friend to come and pray with him and to bear the load together. We in this world, we think we have to do everything by ourselves. We were not made to work as individuals. God is community, and we were wired and built to work in community and as well. And the last part of wisdom is take rest. In the workday, take 5-minute breaks. At night, try to get 8 to 9 hours of sleep. Take your vacation days. Do not think you're being noble by not taking vacation. You're not being noble, you're being unwise. So as God teaches you to abide in wisdom of your limitations, you will act wisely and work wisely and avoid burnout. So if this is helpful in any way, please just subscribe to this channel, hit like. Tell me in the comments if you have experienced burnout or experiencing burnout, and which of those lies you may be believing, and how can Christ through his gospel help you to gain freedom and to work well. Take care. Bye-bye.